lies, catfishing, deep investigative work, and possibly a dead body? Hi guys, I'm Sharon and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I make violin K-pop covers, and if you're old here, I've never made this kind of video before, so let me know if you like it or not. Okay, so this video is definitely going to be a multi-parter. It might be 2 parts or it might even be 3 parts, depending on how deep into the details I get. So make sure you grab a coffee, wine, water, and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you can hear this whole anthology and get notified on the next part. Back in 2019, I was a part of a Facebook group called Subtle Asian Traits, and we're going to call him Sherlock because I'm not going to use any real names here, so I'm just going to replace all of the names with fake ones, and I'm naming him Sherlock, and there's a specific reason for that, which you'll find out later. But I had responded to someone's post about K-pop, I think it was Twice related or something, who was going to the Twice concert, which I wasn't, but I posted a gif of Mina or something. So Sherlock reached out to me and he was like, hey, I've seen your YouTube videos and I'm a part of this K-pop chat group on Facebook. And one of the members of this chat group is someone named Jason. Of course, Jason is not his real name, but I'm replacing all the names. So Jason was supposedly an audio engineer at JYP who focuses on production for Twice. I was told that Jason wanted to be a part of this chat group because he wanted to learn more about how K-pop is received in America, how people feel about Twice, how they feel about the music, any kind of feedback that they might have for improvements they could make to their concerts, etc. And in turn, we would be able to ask Jason questions about music production and how things work at JYP. So of course I was extremely curious about this. I mean, why would a JYP engineer be wanting to talk to this random group of K-pop fans? It didn't really connect for me. Why?
Why though?
So I was curious and I joined the Facebook chat group and I met Jason. Jason stated that he frequently traveled between Korea and US. His main home was in the US, but he also had a condo or an apartment in Korea where his sister lived. And he was working 2 jobs to take care of himself and his sister. So I checked out his Facebook and I looked at the little about section where it has your timeline of your education and of the cities you've lived in and stuff. And on his Facebook it said that he had majored in biochem, computer science. He was also in law school apparently at some point. Yeah, I'm sorry this lighting is so bad. I don't have a dedicated filming space. I just go wherever in my apartment I feel like filming that day. Yeah. That's what's happening right now. Anyways, on his Facebook profile, I did not see anything about an audio engineering degree. So I kept pretty quiet about my suspicions for quite a while. I just wanted to observe, I was new to the group and I didn't want to be overly aggressive and just point fingers without any evidence and be like, this guy's fake, even though I was 90% sure in my head that he was. And so people in the Facebook group asked him questions about JYP as a person, his personality, how they prepare for comebacks. And people even asked how Mina was doing, because at the time, of course, Mina was going through a lot of anxiety. She was going through all those issues, and people weren't sure if she was going to continue as a member of Twice. People didn't know if she was going to be in the next comeback, which I believe at the time was Feel Special. I think that was the next comeback that was upcoming. And his answer to that was, some people are going to be happy with the outcome and some people aren't. Blah blah blah, I can't say anything more than that, whatever, it's private Twice JYP business. Which I can understand if he's really a JYP employee. Yeah, you should not be speaking about that at all. That's definitely a private matter. Also, there was a member of the group, we will call her Jennifer. And Jennifer was very close friends with Jason since 2013. 2013. And basically everything he said, she corroborated with. So now the question was, are they in on the scam together? Meanwhile, as time went on, his Facebook account kept getting deactivated and reactivated. Whenever his account got deactivated, his sister, we're gonna call her Sadie, she would come into chat and give a reason for why it was deactivated. So most of the time it would be something like, oh, well, his haters reported him because they're jealous, and so his Facebook account got deactivated. But other times it would be that he deactivated the account himself because he wanted to take a break from social media, he was really busy, or whatever. And that was very, very, very suspicious. Also, when his sister and himself would be talking in chat, it would be really flirty. It was kind of disturbing. Like, they would be joking around with each other. Like, I remember there was this one time where they were talking to each other live. They were talking about how one time they were going to a park, or they were going somewhere with Sadie's friends, and he was tagging along with them, and he was like, can you tell your friend to stop trying to get close to me, or can you tell my friend to stop touching me when she passes by me? And it was just really odd. Now, I am an only child, so I don't know how siblings interact, but to me, that was a bit odd. So, on July 20th, 2019, he sends me a private Facebook message, and he says, hi, I hope this isn't weird or anything, but I'm just messaging to say hey, LOL. Now, why would a JYP engineer care about me at all? Yes, I'm tangentially connected to the K-pop scene, but I don't really have any value to bring into anything he's involved with, and I'm just not that interesting of a person besides the fact that I record YouTube videos sometimes. There are much more interesting, talented, and influential people to talk to than me. So the only reason I could deduct for why he wanted to talk to me was because he was interested in me romantically. Now, this is the next day, July 21st. I decided to play along because I really wanted to find the inconsistency in his story. Like, I wanted to find, where is the hole in his timeline? Where is the hole in his background? Like, I want to be able to prove that this guy is fake. This is my chance right here to get close to him and find the error in his story. So one thing that I had always wondered was, why didn't he have any pictures with any of these so-called celebrities that he works with? What he told me was, I never share photos of me with celebrities for clout, but I do show people when I'm in the studio doing what I do, to show them how it's done, because surprisingly a lot of people are interested. But as far as photos of people I work with, I don't, because that's a conflict of interest. Also, for Twice Lights, I do have photos of staff and crew with Twice. I'll have to ask because company policies are iffy, and I've heard of employees leaking photos without permission that haven't been posted by JYP first. And yes, like, I kind of get it, but also there are other photos around the internet of JYP staff posing with Twice, or JYP staff posing with JYP. Like, those exist, so on one hand I'm like, yeah, I understand, but on the other hand I'm like, but is it really that way? And through talking to him, I was able to learn more about his jobs that he had. So he did private contracting for military branches while working part-time for JYP, and he also mentioned that he was in the Korean Marines for 2 years and the American Marines for 4 years. So here I was just trying to dig a little deeper into his background. I was trying to find where that inconsistency is so that I could bring the evidence in front of K-pop chat and be like, hey, I found out that he's fake and here's the proof. So I felt a little bit bad about leading him on.
I actually didn't explicitly lead him on or flirt or anything. I was just being friendly and treating him like I do any of my friends. But I did want to make sure that he didn't get the wrong idea.
And on July 29th, 2019, I told him that I was not interested, and he said I was the first person to reject him in 5 to 7 years. And I was like, okay, he took that pretty well. He's a nice guy. He didn't do that thing that some guys do when you reject him, where he's like,
oh, well, good luck finding a guy better than me.
So on August 1st, sorry, I'm just looking down at my iPad with my notes here, just to make sure I have all my timeline straight. So on August 1st, I learned more about his sister Sadie. While I was looking through his Instagram and Facebook, I found that he would mention Sadie often, but she would have like 3 or 4 different spellings of her name, which was quite odd. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but when I first met him, I looked up his name. But the thing is, his name was quite a generic Korean name. And so when I looked it up, I got a whole bunch of other hits. Now on August 5th, in K-pop chat, he mentions that he had 1.2 million followers on Instagram before his account was hacked and he had to create a new one. So apparently, before his haters reported him, he was verified on Instagram with 1.2 million followers. Now, let's put this into perspective, right? So back then, we checked JYP's Instagram account, you know, his personal Instagram account, and he only had 999K at the time. JYP had less followers on Instagram than this audio engineer working for him. Obviously, Jason is not a master of disguise. Obviously, Jason does not work for the CIA. He does not have those skills to create a good fake profile because this is super basic. I mean, 1.2 million followers on Instagram. On August 14th, I talked to my friend that actually has verified real connections to the K-pop industry. And I tell him about this story that Jason had told us. So apparently Jason was in a staff meeting with JYP and he was chatting on his phone in our K-pop group chat, and JYP asked him what he was doing on his phone, why he wasn't paying attention to the meeting. And so JYP went over and looked over his shoulder. I don't remember the exact story, but JYP came and looked at his phone, saw that he was active in a K-pop chat, and wanted to say hello to us. And so Jason's like, "Hey guys, JYP saw our chat, he wanted to say hi, and thank you so much for supporting us." I relayed that story to my friend who has connections to the K-pop industry, and my friend is like, "That's impossible, because JYP is such a busy person. He's known for untied shoelaces because he doesn't even have time to tie his shoes. So why would he ever care about reading someone's Facebook chat and saying hello to a bunch of random people?" Oh, and I also forgot that my friend also mentioned that Jason should have chosen SM as the company to pretend that he was from because they're going under anyways. And that brings us to the fact that I feel like I have enough evidence now to present it to the members of K-pop chat. And so I decided to talk to the admin of K-pop chat, which is Sherlock. So now Sherlock, in the beginning of this whole process, when I first joined K-pop chat, I had sent him this message where I was like, "Do we have any concrete proof that Jason is who he says he is? Like, I don't want to come off as being difficult, but I just want to ask the question." And Sherlock tells me that they had not seen any concrete evidence that Jason was a real JYP audio engineer, but he was inclined to believe Jason because Jason had been really upfront and honest about the difficulties that he faced growing up and the PTSD that he experienced while being in both the Korean and the American army. And that's when I was like, okay, I gotta gather more evidence before I approach this topic again. So I tell Sherlock my conversation that I had with my friend with confirmed connections to the K-pop industry and some other things that I found out about Jason that were inconsistent. And I will tell you in the next part how Sherlock reacts, how we further gather more evidence. It's crazy, you guys, like the amount of depth in which Sherlock took this whole thing. Like, he did so much investigative work. Like, I kind of stopped right there, but then he went and took it like so far, like literally he should be hired as a private detective. Like, he should make that his career. So anyways, make sure to subscribe to this channel and tap that notification bell so you get to find out what kind of evidence Sherlock digs up on him and how he reacts when we tell him this stuff. And so thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next installment of this story. Bye!